Yesterday is in the past. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. All you have is now. Do you want things to be different? Start now. Do you want things to be better? Start now. Want things to change? Start now. Start now. Thanks for watching Hook, Line, and Shifter. I'm your host, Bob McCarty. Packed episode today. Hope you enjoy it. If you do, click the like button down in the bottom, subscribe, and share. It means a lot to me. Sponsors that help me do this week in and week out, because I'll tell you what it is. It is no easy task. We got Orcus. Orcus is the leader. Orcus Technology is the leader in telecommunications. Communications from continent to continent. Direct communications line, internet, you name it, they can do it for you. Orcus.net. ESI grips. No numb hands. Complete comfort. Colors that will make your ride look great. ESI grips. esigrips.com. Use the discount code HLS2025. Get 20% off your entire order. Site-wide 20% off. U-Cycling, YUU, cycling.com. Custom clothing, custom cycling clothing, amazing clothing. U-Cycling, YUU cycling.com. MASH Mobile Vet, mashmobilevet.com. Stressful as hell for you and your animals, taking them to the vet. This company will bring an entire mobile hospital to your front door to care for your animals. Don't stress yourself out. Don't stress them out. mashmobilevet.com. Two new sponsors this week, POC Helmets and NV Wheels. POC.com. Amazing, comfortable helmets. And NV Wheels, you'll see in the episode a little bit later on when I talk about the preparation for my race bike for nationals coming up. NV Wheels, ENVE.com, NV Wheels. Again, thanks for watching. In today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about my race bike. We're going to do a race bike breakdown for you, importance of good training partners, and as always, my segments: single track secrets, questions from the fans, what's in your water bottle, and the thing I love the most: woulda racing. Woulda racing. I should refer this as woulda racing and or woulda training, because I'll tell you what, I hear it all out there. I hear it all. Next week, we have nationals coming up, U.S. nationals in Roanoke, Virginia. My particular class, I have on Monday, XCM Marathon Nationals, and then the following Sunday, XCO or Olympic. So we're just going to call marathons the long race and XCO the short race. Marathon should be somewhere around 3.5 hours is usually what it is this particular year. Race course is about 30, I think it's between 38 and 40 miles long. Never been there before, never been to Roanoke to race before, so we'll see what that's going to be like. What I have, very, very fortunate to have a practice bike and a race bike. So hopefully you like this. Hopefully you like this little clip that I do, talking about the ins and outs of my race bike. So hope you enjoy this segment, checking out my race bike. Good afternoon, everybody. Another beautiful day here in the South Florida heat. Wanted to go over today my race bike. We have nationals coming up in the end of the week. Saturday is travel day, Sunday is practice, And Monday is XCM, marathons up in Roanoke, Virginia. And then the following Sunday is cross country. So I wanted to go over my race bike. My race bike. Very, very fortunate to have two bikes. I have a practice bike and a race bike. Race bike, obviously, sees races. Practice bike gets the hell beat out of the thing every day. So I want to go over the complete setup of what I'm looking at, or what I'm going to be on for Marathon Nationals and XC Nationals up in Roanoke, Virginia. First, we're going to start with the cockpit of the bike. Actually, let me go down. Motivation right there. My motivation. Sean, Megan, Tammy, no longer with us. Keeps me motivated to get out there and push. Cockpit of the bike. First and foremost, we've got ESI extra chunky grips. ESI extra chunky grips. DT Swiss 3-position lockout. Three-position lockout. Computer mount. Computer mount. Reason I have two of them, when I don't run a top tube bag, I prefer to have a mount. I prefer to have my computer here. In this case, since I'm running a top tube bag for nutrition, I'll use the mount on top. Synchros Fraser SL handlebar, 740 millimeters, one piece, 90 millimeters long by -30. 90 millimeters by -30. Couple spacers underneath the stem. RockShox reverb button for my dropper. How I have my controls set up: my finger directly down to the brake lever, suspension, and dropper. Can activate all of these with limited movement to my wrist. You want to make sure your wrist, from your hand through your wrist, your forearm, stays perfectly in line. Finger directly on the brake lever. From all the videos you've probably seen in the past, I'm constantly have one finger resting on the brake lever. Yes, I do run additional ESI race grips just on the inside. The reason for this is I like to rest my forearms, get into a little bit of a tuck position, rest my forearms in the handlebars. Spend a lot of time training out on the levee, our levee system here in South Florida, just to make sure that I'm comfortable in that position. Any fire roads, any double track, I can drop down, get a little bit more aero, and be a little bit more comfortable on the bike. So RockShox reverb, 125 millimeter dropper, King cage, King tubular, titanium tubular cage. Looks old school, but man, I'll tell you what, these things last forever, and knock on wood, never fail. Always stiff. Got that Envy sticker right on there. Why? Because I use Envy M5 wheels, the Envy Pro. On that, Pirelli tires, Pirelli Scorpion M, and I don't know if you can really see it or not, but we're running the 2.2 in the rear. Same thing. Same Pirelli Scorpion XCM, and 2.4s in the front. 2.4 in the front. Very good center tread, as well as a pretty aggressive side tread. SRAM level ultimate brakes. On this case, I'm running a Fox fork, Fox 34, 120 millimeters of travel. All of this on my Scott Spark RC, 120 millimeters of travel. Buried inside there is 120 millimeters of travel also. SRAM transmission, SL transmission, XXSL transmission. SRAM chain. Not running the SL chain on this bike. I don't exactly know why. The SL chain will actually have cuts inside the links. Makes it a little bit lighter. Still performs exactly the same. SL cassette, 1052. 52 is the biggest gear. 10 is the smallest gear. Pushing all that. My Cork Power 36 oval chainring. 36 oval chainring, absolute black chainring. 175 millimeter cranks. Crank Brothers 11, Egg Beater 11 pedals, meaning the titanium pedals. And then through all of this, ceramic speed bottom bracket. So just to recap, we've got ESI grips, transmission, Fraser SL handlebars, DT Swiss remote, Reverb AXS dropper, Pirelli XCM 2.2, Pirelli XCM 2.4, Fox 34 fork, 120 millimeters of travel, Scott 120 millimeters of travel, RC, Cork Power, SRAM transmission, that's it. Beautiful bike. Absolutely fortunate to be able to have a race bike and a practice bike. For what we do, time dedicated to it, man, I can't recommend hard enough to try and have two bikes, one bike race worthy and one bike practice worthy. So thanks for watching. What a good what a good bike right there, man. I absolutely love that thing. I cannot stress enough how important it is to have a race bike. A couple of the things that I neglected to cover in that was pressures. So number one, on that Fox fork, I'm running 65 PSI in the front, a couple of clicks on the faster side, for the rebound of the suspension. Tire pressure, I actually run 15 PSI in the front tire, and that was a Pirelli XCM 2.4. And I'll run 19 PSI in the rear. I don't know what that converts over to in bar. And then the other one was shock pressure. I neglected to mention what my shock pressure was. I'm running 175 in the rear. I tend to take a little bit on the stiffer side for suspension. My recommendation is somewhere around 15-20% over body weight is a pretty good starting point of where you want to go with that rear shock. But man, I'll tell you what, that bike is that thing is I don't even know what to say. That thing's rolling. It's amazing. I dusted it off for training on Monday night. Haven't used the bike in a couple months because we've been off for a little bit while, and I use my yellow bike, my practice bike, for endurance racing. Only because it's not a bad bike, and sometimes I don't want to put the miles onto my race bike. So I dusted that off for my Moto Monday, and oh man, that thing is flying. I just love it. One of the main reasons is we invest a lot of time, a lot of effort into this sport, into racing. Having two bikes is definitely a bonus. That race bike is top notch. As things wear out on my practice bike, I'll pull them off of the race bike, put them down on the practice bike, and then buy new stuff for the race bike. So the race bike is always has quality parts on it. And generally speaking, I put new tires on that bike every weekend that we go racing. Sounds like a waste. It's not really that much of a waste, because I spend so much time in the saddle. I'm able to use up everything that gets worn out, or that I downgrade from the race bike. I'm able to use everything up. So hope you enjoyed that little tidbit into my Scott Spark RC race bike. Next thing, let's talk about the importance of great training partners. A good training partner is going to hold you accountable. A good training partner is going to require you to push. I have two, actually I have more than that, but particularly I have two very, very strong training partners that don't allow me to get away with anything. 6 days a week, I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Actually, I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning, pedaling by 5:20 every day, out on our levee system, doing my intervals, doing whatever is required of myself to continue to be successful on a bike. And then once I'm in trail, I have these two guys that I work with that just push. They just push. But I'll tell you what, after every single training ride, man, I have a grin on my face because I absolutely love it. They push me so hard to test my skill set, and vice versa. I got to say, hopefully I'm doing the same thing to them. But good training partners, man, are irreplaceable. You need them to stay motivated and stay pushing in this sport. I've said this numerous times before. It does not get any easier. There's nothing about this sport that gets easier. You only get faster and you only get better. The guys at the top of the sport or the guys at the bottom of the sport, they are working just as hard, suffering just as much. Never gets easier. You got to find your enjoyment, find that level of pain that you can endure, question it, because it's probably a little bit more than what you actually think you can do. Push through. You can make a big difference in your body and in your brain when you have good or great training partners. And by the way, it's going to take some time. I've been very, very fortunate to have good training partners over my decades of racing. I don't have the same ones that I've had before. Some of them come and go. It takes time, but don't be afraid. Make some really good training partners. This sport is not an overnight success. Good training partners are going to help you build and continue to be better. Get that partner. All right, next one. Single track secrets. Single track secrets. I've said before, there really are no secrets in single track, but hopefully this video will show you just a couple of the different things of how I go about reading a trail, my way of training, my way of practicing mountain biking, not just simply go out there and ride. Challenge yourself, challenge your tactics. Muscle memory happens with the repetition of motion. Riding your mountain bike and riding one trail that takes you 45 minutes or 50 minutes to do isn't really practicing mountain biking. Challenge yourself. What I do is I call it Moto Monday. Moto Monday for us is my training night with my guys. I'll do a section of the trail that's anywhere between 7 and 9 minutes long, and we do it for 75 to 90 minutes, again and again and again, trying different lines, trying different gears, trying different body positions, looking at breaking points. Get better and practice mountain biking. Hope you like Single Track Secrets. All right, here we go, another episode of Single Track Secrets. Heading into Alligator Alley at Markham Park. It's probably another one of my Monday motos, training with my guys out there. Alligator Alley is one of the final trails at Markham Park. You enter it by going up a small paver climb, followed by a left-hand turn. So heading up this paver climb, going to take a left-hand turn. Around this left-hand turn, going to head off. And right there in the distance, you see a left line and a right line. Left line is going to be a gap drop. Right line is going to be a smooth roller. We're going to go ahead and head around this to the right side. Heading around to the right side, nice right-hand berm, up and over the mound, left hand, up to a right-hand turn. In this right-hand turn, you can see that there's a good hook off on the left side of the trail. I'm going to try and go around that. The key is right around the corner. Right around the corner here is a root. There was actually a root just behind on the right side. On the left side of the trail. You want to watch. Make sure that your left foot isn't in the down position. We drop down this, up around a left-hand turn on some pavers, followed by a right. I'm going to go around another right-hand turn, drop down to the right, left-hand turn. After this next, in this left-hand turn, you can see these bunch of roots. Normally, I talk about practicing mountain biking. In this case, these roots are pretty gnarly. You're not going to be able to go around. You're not going to be able to go over them. So the line, in fact, is going a little bit to the left, come back to the right to make a left. After we take this left-hand turn, you're going to go up a hill to up and over a small rock over and across a bridge. Up and over a small rock over, across the bridge, passing off to the left. Right up here, off on the right side, is going to be a wood roller that will drop back down in. But long before we get to that, there's a key section coming up. So we're going to stay to the left here for the advanced section. All right, right here. This is one of the arts that I speak constantly about practicing mountain bike. Off on the right side, you can see how you can go around those cluster of roots in the trees, or you can actually go straight. Believe it or not, there is a transition in the dirt to help the bike want to go straight. It'll be able to, with a little bit of skill, you'll be able to hop right up and over the roots, holding a straight line, getting enough momentum to head straight up into the right-hand wood berm on top of this all. Straight up and over, heading around this wood right-hander. All right, there's a buddy on the left. Okay, this wood roll in, pretty aggressive on the back side of it, a little bit steep. But right about here, I use my dropper, put the saddle down, get a lower center of gravity to drop in on the backside of all this and get a good pump going through. Right there, we got a steep roll in, a little bit of a double, and followed by a bunch of really good berms. So we got a right-hander followed by a bunch of berms that we're dropping into. A lot of good sweeping rights and sweeping lefts. Pretty fun, fast trail. Main thing with this is I'm trying to look ahead, anticipate what the turns are while not neglecting looking down. Up and over this, we're going to head around to a nice left-hander followed by a really good right-hander. All right, one of the keys for this last left, you could see right in the main line of the trail, in this case, it's actually a root. It's a small root. You can go under it, which means come down to the left. You can go over it, bike's going to bounce a little bit, or you can go off to the right and go higher than the whole thing. Because of the nature of the turn and how we're leading into the whole thing, we're actually going to try to go off to the right side of it, so a little bit on the high side to sweep around this berm. There we go, right around the outside. Really, really fun trail. This one got built years ago and is burned in really well. Next section, just before this right-hander, whole cluster of roots. In this case, I'm going to try and hold the left line. Oh, those roots right in front. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 roots there and a tree off on the right. We're going to hold the left line, go right up in that small gap in the roots, sweeping around to the right. There's a couple of roots and rocks on the back side of it. Believe in what your bike can do. 29-inch wheels, they actually want to roll over stuff. So believe in your bikes. Loosen up. Let that bike move up and down. Don't let the handlebars move side to side. Let that bike move up and down free. Let that bike free flowing underneath your tires. There we go. Dropping back down this, great hook. Up and over the mound. Up and over another mound. Really, really fun trail. Off on the left there, we're going to come back down that eventually. Right here is a section that I can rest, drop my heels and rest. Nice left-hand turn. Gonna get just about ready to get into some more of the fun stuff. Dropping down to the right, there's some of the guys at Moto, just passing by on the right side. Ran a handlebar cam here. Sorry about how off it was, but a little bit vibration. A little bit of vibration running this handlebar cam. Going up this climb, gonna attack it up the pavers, dropping back down, nice sweeping right-hand turn, some good lines, some outside edges. Around this a rock, gonna go underneath that rock right there. Up and over to a right-hand turn, over to a famous drop-in called Big Gulp. One of the key things with Big Gulp is it's actually not that bad. A little more intimidating the way it looks. It's a fun, fast roller with a good berm at the end of the whole thing. You go around this left-hander, right up and over. A little bit of a kick. That edge, if you're willing to do it, you can kind of air out this edge, clear the top, land on the backside, carry a boatload of momentum down into the bottom. We're going to go up and over, drop down, really fast left-hand turn. Straight through this last piece of single track, up and over the mound, hanging a left, dropping down, up and over this wood roller. Dropping into a left-hand turn, a right-hand turn. Really, really fun trail. Exiting off here to the left, hopping down, and then continuing down this main section of trail, which leads us back into my moto lap. Single track secrets. Learn to read the trail. You don't have to take the path of least resistance. Sometimes the path with some resistance in it is going to teach you how to practice mountain biking. I said earlier, talked about great training partners. I've got some great training partners. One of the keys for me in these Moto Mondays is repetition. Laps are somewhere between 7 to 9 minutes long, and we do them for 75 minutes. Practicing gears, practicing body positions, you name it, we're trying to work on it. Practice mountain biking, don't practice avoidance. Another episode, Single Track Secrets. All right, hope you like that session of Single Track Secrets, Alligator Alley at Markham Park. Next segment, questions from the fans. These are emails that I get from people. mtbcoachbob@gmail, mtbcoachbob@gmail. Send me any question. I'll be more than happy to answer it, as well as questions that I get at the local park. So I picked 3 that has happened over the last week, and figure it might be useful to some of you all also. So first question, hey Bob, I'm thinking about entering my first race. What should I expect? The stress, competition, training, travel? All of that you should expect. Number 1, it is going to be stressful. Why? The biggest question that I get is, I don't know how hard to go. Do I go too hard? Did I leave too much out there? Do I have more room to push? Did I push too hard? What about everybody else that's around me? What about when somebody wants to pass me? All of these things are going to cross your mind. What I can say is the most stressful part of about a mountain bike race is probably the first 3 to 5 minutes. After those 3 or 5 minutes is over, you're just left with yourself, the trail, and a couple people that might be around you. It's all about your performance. I wish I could say that you're going to figure it out. You're not going to figure it out. I have 500 and almost 600 races in my career, and I have not figured it out. I'm getting pretty good. At it, but I have not figured this sport out yet, nor should you think that you're going to figure it out. It's funny, some of the questions that I get, somebody be like, "Oh, I made such a mistake, and I gotta change everything to fix it." And I said, "How many races have you done?" "Oh, this is my third." Come on, man. You can't beat yourself up that hard over your third race. I don't care if it's your third, your 33rd, or your 133rd. You're never going to figure this out. Yes, you're going to get better. Yes, you're going to start to understand things, but you'll never figure this sport out. There's always something that's getting thrown at you that you have to try and learn. Competition. Competition is... This is actually a funny one, because I get this all the time. "No, Bob, I don't want to race because there's not enough competition." There's an old saying, all it takes is one. All it takes is one person to have competition. You don't care about what anybody else is doing. You care about what that one person is doing and how they are affecting you. Unfortunately, that one person can blow you up, motivate you. Who knows what they're going to do, but you are left with your own abilities, your own emotion. I've said this early in my career. Mountain bike racing is nothing but a time trial with other people. It's a time trial in the dirt with other people. You have to understand your body. Yes, there is going to be tactics, taking advantage of on fire roads if you can draft off of somebody. But ultimately, it comes down to your performance. So the best thing to do with your competition, number one, is understand them, learn from them. But again, it comes back to what you physically are going to do for yourself. Training, listen, if you think you're doing enough, you're probably not. It's literally that simple. In one of my other episodes, I talk about A, B, and C category races. C being races that you are just another training day, which means you probably trained the day before and want to train the day after. B category races that you're probably going to rest slightly for a B category race. And then A category is when we talk about getting into tapering. Tapering is you do a great training block and then you taper your body down to have your form as high as you can for race day. That would be an A-level competition. Every race cannot be an A-level race, and there's nothing a matter with training your way into a C-level race. It actually winds up being a very good training weekend for yourself. Travel, just like all the other categories, you gotta experience it. Flying is a lot different than driving, and it's a lot different than doing your local races. Flying, quite stressful. Plan an extra day on the front side of the trip just to get yourself rested and relaxed. Anticipate that there could possibly be bike problems when you got to take a bike on an airplane. Traveling in the car, if you have the ability to have air boots, take some air boots with you to get some of that build up, the blood build up that's going to build in your legs from sitting. But again, all these things take time. There's not one simple, quick solution fix that I can say to everything, other than it takes time. Not every race can be an A-level race. And don't be afraid to race a lot more than what you actually want to. It's going to make a big difference for you. Number 2. Hey, Bob, what upgrades should I make on my new bike? This is one that actually comes up a lot. One thing to remember, that if you say, hey, I want to drop the weight of my bike, it's $1,000 for every pound. $1,000 for every pound that you want to get off of that bike. Think about your body. Is there an extra pound or two on your body? There probably is. Saves you $1,000 for every pound. Biggest upgrade I would recommend is rotational weight. Bang for the buck wheels. Carbon wheels are going to make a big difference in your ride. Rotational weight. You physically have to get that. You have to get that weight moving. Number 2 probably would be suspension. Nothing replaces good quality suspension. Whether you're on RockShox or Fox, I actually use both between both of my bikes. Nothing replaces good suspension, rotational weight. From there, you can get into electronic shifting. That's a an relatively expensive upgrade. All of these are expensive upgrades. But number 1, I would say wheels, rotational weight. That's going to be the big bang for your buck. All right, 3rd question. Hey, Bob, what computer device do you use, and what information do you monitor? So I use a Garmin. In that video that we had earlier on my race bike, you saw where I have my Garmin mounts, 2 Garmin mounts, one on the handlebar and one on the top tube. On my Garmin, I've never used anybody else's, so I can't really recommend something different. Just a fan of Garmin's. On my screen, I have 10-second, I use power. On my Garmin screen, I have 10-second average power, lap power, lap time, heart rate, cadence. Why do I have all this? It's quite simple. If I want to throw down on an interval, if I want to do a 5-minute interval at 300 watts, don't worry about the numbers, who cares? 5-minute interval at 300 watts. When I click the lap button on my bike, on my Garmin, I can monitor what my lap power is. I can monitor my 10-second power to see if I'm going to drive that lap power up, or to see if that lap power is going to come back down. And then lap time is going to simply tell me, hey, what are you doing after you click that lap time? How far into the 5-minute interval am I? How does my heart rate reflect what it is that I'm doing? And how does my cadence reflect what it is that I'm doing? By monitoring those numbers, I can try and make the best decisions to capitalize on the moment. Always keep in mind headwind, tailwind, trail conditions. Are you on asphalt? Are you on gravel? All of those things are gonna affect those numbers, whether it's going to be cadence, heart rate. But generally, those are the ones that I monitor. So hopefully that helps. And again, mtbcoachbob@gmail.com. mtbcoachbob@gmail.com. It's a couple of the questions that I got over the last week. Next thing, what's in your water bottle? A couple of years ago, I did an interview somewhere, and the gentleman interviewing me said, hey, Bob, everybody wants to know what's in your water bottle. I'll tell you what's in my water bottle. 3 things in my water bottle this week. I've got no excuse attitude, which leads into wood racing, the next segment. No excuse attitude. I am responsible for every outcome. I am the one responsible for every outcome. If I suck, it's my fault. It's not my coach. Be accountable for your actions. I hold myself very accountable to what it is that I do. Number 2, hours upon hours of bike prep. You work really hard to get ready for race day. The last thing you want to have is mechanical failure. Spend some time wrenching on the bike, understanding what it is, understanding how it functions, get that thing race ready. And like I said earlier, if you could have a second bike or a race bike, it just makes things a lot better. Last thing, routine. I'm a fan of routine. Routine in my training, routine in my diet, and routine in my sleep. I sleep anywhere between 7 to 9 hours a night with a nap most days, 20 to 30 minute nap. Diet, I eat the same things every day of the week. What is that? Doesn't really matter. It's enough to keep me going, not carry any extra weight. Do I experiment with it a lot? Not a lot. Not a lot. I'm big into the routine of things. And then training. I've said in some of the other videos that I focus in on my amount of TSS, training stress score, the amount of TSS points that I get every week, as well as hitting my intervals, finding out where I have any, any deficits in my abilities or any opportunities in my abilities, and I'll work those zones or those areas. Periodization throughout the year, depending upon if I'm racing Florida, the state series at the end of the year, nationals, like I said, that we have coming up next week, endurance series in the beginning of the year, or getting ready for Africa in March of next year. All of that fits into a routine. Don't break your routine. Stick to it. This is not, I said it earlier, this sport is not an overnight success. You have to stick with it. Don't tell yourself, oh, next week I'm gonna come back. Nothing the matter with right now. Right now, remember, yesterday is gone. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed. You have now. Make the differences in your life right now. Last section, last one. And this is, man, I'll tell you what, every week I hear these things and some of it makes me smile. Some of it makes me sad. Be accountable, man. Just be accountable for what it is that you're doing. So let's get into it. Woulda racing. WOULD-A. Woulda. I woulda done a lot better if. 3 things for woulda racing this week. We're going to go from 3 down to the number 1 that I heard. Number 3, if I raced my class, I would have done a lot better. Based on the age category, this one actually comes up a lot because sometimes we age down to challenge ourselves. And then when it doesn't pan out the way you want, you go back and you say, well, if I would have raced my age, I would have done a lot better. You're absolutely guaranteed none of that. You got what you deserve. You went down. That's what you got that day. Number 2, it's been raining a lot. Oof. It's been raining a lot. Okay. I'm just going to let that one be. It's been raining a lot. Haven't been able to ride. Apparently it's been raining for years, but whatever. And the number 1 in the last show, I had my number 1 as the guy said he was one of the guys said he was kayaking. I got sore from kayaking. Number 1 thing that I heard. My wife asked me to paint our bedroom. I was up painting all night. Okay. I was up painting all night. It's the reason I got dropped, reason I lost the race, reason I couldn't perform today. You're better than this. How do you get these things? Apparently, I don't do anything else other than ride my bike, so I don't do anything that my wife asks me to do. Never rains in South Florida. Sunny every day. And I only race the classes that I can win. That's it. Own your results. Own the process. Own your training. And you will be better. And I'll tell you what, you'll probably be a hell of a lot more respected in the sport. Don't run your mouth with excuses. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Hook, Line, and Shifter. Remember, yesterday is in the past. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. All you have is now. If you want to change, do it now. If you want things to be better, do it now. You want a better life? Do it now. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. Yesterday is gone. As always, thank you for watching. I got to thank Orchist Technologies, ESI Grips, U-Cycling, POC Helmets, NV Wheels, and MASH Mobile Vet. Without you guys, I can't do any of this. So again, I'm your host, Bob McCarty. Thank you for watching another episode of Hook, Line, and Shifter. Have a great training week. If you guys enjoyed this episode, again, click the like, subscribe, and share buttons. We'll see y'all at Nationals in a week.